Believe me, I'm as surprised as you are to see myself on camera. I could have never thought that I'm going to end up starting a YouTube channel with myself talking about business topics. However, the number of people that actually contacted me and said, "Is it possible that you do something with video?" Because of many had very different reasons. One of the reasons that really stuck with me was that quite a number of people. First, I'm thankful when more people are listening to the leadership podcast. But some people really said, "Hey," and these were people with certain disabilities. Said, and then they said, I really could listen to your podcast better if I could see you because your podcast and the subtitles good, but reading lips is a lot easier for me. So here we are. I'm of course very happy to make it more accessible. That is what all this is about. So when you listen to the leadership podcast so far, you might have one big question mark now where you think, is the leadership podcast now going to die? News, it's not. Of course it is not. Very important here is that leadership podcast keeps going as usual. You will have your weekly episodes, but you will have more than that. And we are going to talk about what we're going to do more than what we did before right now. So the videocast intro. That's how this episode is called. When we talk about the videocast, what will this be about? So first, it's always focused on content. And when people say, "Oh, content," that's something which many people claim but usually don't deliver on the promise. I want to tell you in a very straightforward manner, it's science, facts, and evidence we're going to talk about here. So when you have a certain opinion, and I have opinions as well, and sometimes I will tell you my opinion on the matter, and then I will label it as such. So I will simply say that's the scientific evidence, and I have a take on X, Y, Z in practice. That's my opinion. So opinions will be labeled as such, which is very important, crucially important in the discourse. And one question that many people had when they sent me documentaries, especially about my industry, the training, speaking, coach industry, and let's face it, quite a lot is going on there, to say the least. Some people know I'm a big critic of what's going on there. We will have content, the usual episodes that we have every week, but we will have more, the so-called reacts, for the ones of us who are on this planet for longer. I'm avoiding the word older here. So people like me, by the way. A react is when you have a certain video, documentary, or similar, and you have a commentary on that. So I will show you the video, comment it, give you extra background to it. So we will look at documentaries, we will at situations, we will look at the real world data and what's going on there to see what actually has happened. And many people now wonder in which setting will this happen. Very important with the setting is if anyone now thinks I'm sitting in my 15,000 euro studio, surprise, that's not the case. I live a minimalist lifestyle. I will stick to my minimalist lifestyle. And anyone who now says, sorry, I really can only listen to anything, even YouTube videos must have a perfect thumbnail and perfect lighting and perfect this and perfect that, hear the news, then this channel's not for you. I have a minimalist lifestyle. I will keep doing that. I'm not going to raise my carbon footprint to put my ego out there. I know that many colleagues do that. Usually they spend money, clients pay them for marketing and ego. I prefer, and that's maybe I'm a dying species with that. I prefer to spend money my clients pay me to put into research, actual content, scientific evidence. And that's what I'm going to do here as well. So everything I will do is mobile. You will see me with this background, with any other background. I'm usually traveling quite a lot. You can see me anywhere from my flat or any location I'm traveling. So the backgrounds will differ very much. And sorry to say you have to live with that. So we just keep it relaxed. If relaxed is not for you, this channel's not for you. If you like something which is focused on content, then you're right here because we will keep it focused. And when you now say, okay, can I add something? And of course, yes, this is all about interaction. If you now want to interact with me in one way or the other, it is important that you, of course, one thing you could do right now, and I would be very much happy if you do that. Please put a like here on YouTube. If you're now listening on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify or anywhere else, go to our YouTube channel, subscribe there, and maybe leave a review of our podcast. That will be very helpful. And recommend it to friends, family, business colleagues, whoever. We are all here for the content, and we like to spread it as far as possible. If you have any content in mind where you say, hey, could you talk about the developments in the job market, for example? Are benefits really a big thing that we should offer to people who want to work for us? That's the podcast I did last week. I will go, I just talked about this last week. So any kind of content you have on your mind where you suggest something, then feel free to do so. When you, for example, now say, and that's also a certain limitation, when you say, hey, I have a piece of content I have on my mind, I really like to know how to cook the perfect blueberry cupcake. There are perfect channels for that. Raphael Blueberry is a very well-known cooking channel. He's from London. I know him. So he is someone who does that. What we do here is business management, leadership, and certain industry aspects around that, including the training, speaking, coaching, consultancy mentoring, and of course the project and interim management industry. That's what we do here. So this is a business podcast, it's a business YouTube cast, and it's all about business. When you now think, what could I do right now? I have a recommendation for you. So first, put a like here, put a subscribe here, put a comment down here. Please review. If you, for example, go on Apple Podcasts, maybe do 5 stars there. On Spotify, recommend it to friends and business colleagues. If you now have any kind of content on your mind, just send me an email, nb@nb-networks.com, and then we take it from there. And when you now say, hey, do you have live sessions? Because one request I also received about 400 times now is, could you do live streaming? No, at least not yet. When you think that streaming is easy, it is not. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of preparation time. It's nothing you do off the cuff, at least not in a business context. And besides all of that, I work pretty much long hours, which, by the way, I choose, and I love to do that. But live streaming is not on the agenda right now. We have live sessions, but the only way how to get into the know about the live sessions is via email. When you go to expert.nb-networks.com, just put your email address in there, and no worries, you receive only one email every Wednesday morning. And what you see there is, the dates, the time, and the access link, no further registration. So if you support me here, very good. That is the intro to the videocast. If you now think, so what's up next? Well, you will see, because very quickly you will receive, when you put a like and subscribe here, you will receive the information that a new episode is released, which will happen very soon. The first episode, including video. So please stay tuned. I'm looking forward to being in touch with you and also having more interactions with you. And at the end of the podcast, and at the end of this now also pod and videocast, as you know, there's only one thing left for me to say. In this case, 2 things. I'm looking forward to this, and thank you very much for being part of this journey. And as usual, thank you very much for your time.